Our story begins with Lee Gil-soo, a boy severely bullied at his previous school in Seoul. His family decides to move to the countryside, hoping for a fresh start after his mother realizes the extent of his suffering. Gil-soo is transferred to a new high school, 6 Gates High. He arrives with a sense of dread, convinced that he will face the same torment as before. As he walks into his new classroom, he is filled with despair, wishing for an earthquake or even a terrorist invasion to take him out of his misery. To his surprise, his introduction as Lee Gil-soo is met with indifference rather than laughter. He takes his seat, but soon 2 tough-looking guys approach him. Gil-soo braces for the worst, expecting to be bullied again. Instead, the boys are friendly and take him on a tour of the school. They have lunch together, and for the first time, Gil-soo experiences the warmth of friendship. One of the boys, with black hair, jokingly mocks the other, who has yellow hair about his eyebrows, calling him caterpillar eyebrows, and asks if Gil-soo thinks it's too. Then Gil-soo says it's cool and suits him. They laugh, and Gil-soo joins in, feeling a sense of belonging. However, Gil-soo's peace is short-lived. While walking, he bumps into a huge, intimidating guy and offers to pay for his shirt, fearing the worst. The guy surprisingly accepts the money calmly. After school, the black-haired boy leads Gil-soo to a remote mountain area. As they walk, he asks Gil-soo if he knows any fighting techniques like boxing. Gil-soo admits he has never fought in his life and asks why he is asking that. The black-haired boy grins and states it might be tough for you then, and suggests to brace himself. Then Gil-soo notices scars on his hands, thinking they might be from bullying. Gil-soo tries to run away thinking he might get bullied again, but black-haired guy stops him, stating they are already there. Panicking, Gil-soo opens the door to a warehouse, which turns out to be a boxing ring. Inside, a guy who looks like a werewolf mutant introduces himself as Jang Chung, the president of 6 Gates High. Then, Caterpillar Eyebrows invites the black-haired boy into the ring, where they start a fight. Jang then addresses Gil-soo, explaining that their school has no bullies but instead channels all violence into this arena. He declares, "This year's freshmen aren't bad. This is the true face of our school." Gil-soo is shocked as Jang explains the school's unique System 1. Only students of 6 Gates High are allowed entry into the arena. Entry is prohibited after graduation, dropping out, or expulsion. 2. All fights are one-on-one without weapons. A third person is not allowed under any circumstances. 3. The Student Guidance Council acts as referees and decides the end of any fight. Suddenly, the guy whose shirt Gil-soo ruined earlier walks in and challenges him to a fight to make up for the cleaning fee. Jang is surprised by the quick challenge, thinking, "What? You already have an opponent? Learn as you go." Jang emphasizes the final and most crucial rule: any kind of violence is banned outside of the fighting arena. Any negative feelings towards someone will be resolved in the arena. Gil-soo, terrified and feeling hopeless, thinks there is no way he can fight. He has been a victim all his life. As he steps into the ring, he wants to quit before the fight even begins, overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty. As the fight rages on, the spectators buzz with whispers about Gil-soo's misfortune. Can you believe it? Gil-soo got picked by Kang In-hae on his first day. One of them says, "Kang In-hae? Is he famous?" Another asks, "I think he's just a first year." But he's that guy's younger brother. Kang In-hae calls out to Gil-soo, "You're not going to come. I was going to give you a handicap since it's your first time." But Gil-soo is paralyzed with fear, unable to move a muscle. As In-hae closes the distance between them, Gil-soo suddenly vomits all over him, causing the match to be forfeited. Rumors spread quickly, and Gil-soo finds himself in the bathroom, thinking everywhere is hell for him, convinced that his social life is ruined and questioning the school's obsession with fighting. Determined to avoid the arena, Gil-soo visits Jang and explains he can't go to the arena anymore as he doesn't have the confidence to fight a person. He further states he doesn't want to hurt anyone and he doesn't understand this whole fighting arena thing. Jang, who is doing push-ups with 2 guys on his back, interprets Gil-soo's reluctance as an invitation for the entire school to use him as a punching bag. If you don't participate in the arena, it means you're the only student for whom violence is allowed, Jang declares. In class, In-hae, the one who challenged him, beats Gil-soo mercilessly and declares him his slave, ordering him to visit him during every break. Gil-soo realizes the harsh reality of the school's protection. Opting out of the arena means endless torment. Desperate and defeated, Gilsoo decides to drop out of school, fearing his parents' disappointment. On his way out, Jang confronts him. "Why are you quitting school?" Jang asks. Gilsoo admits he was bullied, and he has trauma, so he can't fight. Jang responds, "Who told you that you need to fight like a pro? You don't need skills for that. If you don't have teeth, use your gums. If you don't have strength, use your guts." That's what fighting is about. School president. "What are you saying all of a sudden?" Gilsoo stammers. "Right now, you don't even want to protect yourself," Jang replies. Gilsoo, feeling misunderstood, decides to leave, thinking he'll find peace outside the school. But Jang's words haunt him. "Do you think the outside world's all sunshine and butterflies? No, you'll just remain a loser your entire life." As soon as Gilsoo leaves, In-hae and his gang confront him. "If you leave, then who's going to be my sandbag?" In-hae taunts. He states his anger towards Jang. He created a fighting arena which made his life harder because he can't have a slave. He states even if Gilsoo drops out, it will be no different, and he drags Gilsoo into an alley and they beat him. In-hae takes a photo of him being humiliated and threatens to expose it unless he complies. Gilsoo thinks he will never escape hell, and maybe it's his destiny to be like that. Then Jang's advice suddenly comes to his mind, and he throws away In-hae's phone and Gilsoo bites him, thinking he will do anything to take In-hae down with him. But all of them corners him, and he decides to make a run for it. He rushes to the arena, and with newfound resolve, declares his intention to join the fighting arena. Gilsoo realizes that to survive and protect himself, he must confront his fears head-on. Inside the arena, one of In-hae's gang members, Park Yango, voiced his desire to be the one to beat Gilsoo. Another gang member quickly told him to keep his voice down, pointing towards Jang, who might overhear. In the ring, In-hae relentlessly pummeled Gilsoo, taunting him, "Do you regret choosing to fight in the arena?" Gilsoo, despite his beaten state, looked up with defiant eyes. Angered by Gilsoo's stare, In-hae struck him again, demanding he lower his gaze. "This isn't some webtoon where you suddenly become stronger and beat me," In-hae sneered, delivering a final kick. He wondered if Gilsoo was done for good, but to his surprise, Gilsoo struggled back to his knees. In-hae mocked him, telling him not to act tough or he will go extinct for sure. But Gilsoo responded with determination. "Do you think I'll go down so easily? I've endured worse at my previous school." Gilsoo managed to drag In-hae down and was about to punch him when In-hae countered with a punch of his own, taunting that Gilsoo's slow punches wouldn't reach him. Remembering Jang's advice to use anything he had, Gilsoo headbutted In-hae, landing his first successful attack. Jang, observing from the sidelines, thought to himself, even if the adrenaline is dulling the pain, he must have taken quite a bit of damage. Lee Gilsoo definitely has some resilience. In-hae threw Gilsoo back, but Gilsoo stood up again, thinking it was nothing. The spectators, impressed by the newbie's determination, started chanting Gilsoo's name. As he charged towards In-hae again, In-hae knocked him unconscious. When Gilsoo woke up, he found himself in an unfamiliar room with Jang staring at him. "Are you still here because of me?" Gilsoo asked. Jang replied, "As the student council president, it's my duty to look after a student who has passed out. The arena isn't a place to beat someone to death, but a place to protect them." Jang continued, "That was all for today since you're dropping out. I can no longer protect students who are not from 6 Gates High." He was about to leave when Gilsoo, having a change of heart, declared, "I'm not dropping out. Teach me how to be strong." Jang grinned and playfully punched Gilsoo, saying, "It's the student council's duty to train you. Brace yourself for more of those punches." Gilsoo remembered when it all started, back in middle school. A slipper came flying at him, and he didn't say anything to them. The bullies sensed his weakness and began tormenting him, demanding money. This memory haunted him as he walked to class, nursing what he suspected was a broken rib from Jang's latest training session. Jang had told him to visit during breaks, hinting that this was the path to becoming stronger. As he was going to the classroom, Jindu Il, a black-haired guy, approached him and stated, "I thought you'd quit, Gilsoo." "Ah, that's... I changed my mind." "Whoa, really? I guess you like the fighting arena then. You've got quite the balls." As they chatted, In-hae noticed Gilsoo and approached him. "Why are you here? Do you want revenge?" he sneered. "Stay out of line, or I'll get rid of you for real." Jindu Illinois wondered what In-hae had whispered in Gilsoo's ear, but Gilsoo remained resolute, determined to get stronger so he wouldn't lose to someone like In-hae again. Days passed, and Gilsoo trained with Jang on the rooftop. He often wondered how he could get stronger when all Jang did was beat him. At the arena, In-hae mercilessly defeated another opponent. One of the spectators points out In-hae has been merciless ever since he fought Lee Gilsoo. I bet his ego was hurt, another added. Who knows what the result could have been if Gilsoo had bashed his head into him. True. Kang In-hae's weakness is headbutting. In-hae overheard and walked up to the spectator, threatening, "Do you want a piece of me?" Annoyed, In-hae turned to his gang. "Seen Gilsoo today?" "What? Lee Gilsoo? I haven't seen him around lately." In-hae thinks as he is rejecting the arena, and he remembers Jang's words about the arena's protection and sees an opportunity to relieve some stress. Meanwhile, Gilsoo was running, doubting whether Jang's training would truly make him strong. Suddenly, a group of thugs appeared on motorbikes, nearly hitting Gilsoo. They demanded compensation of 5 million won. "I don't have that kind of money," Gilsoo protested. One of the thugs started beating him, accusing him of bumping into his bike and not paying compensation. But to Gilsoo's surprise, he wasn't scared. Even as he took the punches, he felt strangely calm. Maybe it was because of all the hits he'd taken from Jang. Then, with newfound courage, Gilsoo struck back, landing a punch on the thug leader. "Why would I give my money to someone like you?" he declared, ready to stand his ground. Thug leader grabbed Gilsoo's hands and sneered, "Was that supposed to be a punch? That didn't hurt at all." Gilsoo, despite his bravado, charged forward. He'd never learned how to fight, he only knew how to take a hit. Suddenly, two guys seized him, shouting, "This isn't a swimming pool. What are you doing?" Watching Gilsoo trying to attack but could not land a hit, thug leader slipped on a knuckle duster and taunted, "You've always been a loser, huh?" He asks his minions to hold him tight, so that he can show Gilsoo his place by beating him. Just then, Doyle entered the scene, delivering a swift knee to the thug leader's face. Recognizing Gilsoo, he swiftly took down the goons. Gilsoo, bruised but aware, realized he was stronger than he looked. As he processed this revelation, a girl stormed in, cursing and stating they were the strongest first years of Jinsang Technical High School, and that they would tell their upperclassmen. Another guy intervened, recognized the clothes of Doyle and stated, "Bringing them won't help. Look at that guy's clothes. He's from 6 Gates High." Thug thought Gilsoo was a loser, but they messed with the wrong person. They take their leave, stating they would have never touched him if they knew he was from 6 Gates High. After chasing off the thugs, Doyle asked Gilsoo, "How'd you get mixed up with these idiots?" Gilsoo replied, "I was following the training routine given by Jang." Surprised, Doyle remarked, "It would be nice if I got training from Jang too." Gilsoo admitted he needed to work on his stamina, feeling exhausted from the fight. Doyle chuckled, "I saw you fight back. It was funny, but you weren't afraid. That's a great achievement." Gangso then asked, "Why did those thugs run away?" Doyle laughed, "Of course they ran. Our school is famous around here. 6 Gates High is known for gathering people who can fight. It used to be a jungle where normal students became prey to rampant violence." Surprised, Gingsu states 6 Gates was like that. Doyle further states it's not like that anymore, thanks to Jang Chung. He conquered our lawless school, set up the fighting arena, and established rules. 6 Gates High became cleaner. But if the fighting arena or Jang Chung disappears, who knows when it might return to the hell it was before. Some bastards still want the old 6 Gates High back. Back at the arena, Park Yong-ho beats a guy and invites another guy, stating he didn't like the way that guy looked from the start. Then suddenly Kang In-hae enters the ring and challenges one of the spectators to get into the ring. He was bad-mouthing In-hae during his fight with Gilsoo. He tries to not fight, stating they don't even know each other. But In-hae states, "Do I need a reason? I got in a bad mood after seeing you. Isn't that what the fighting arena is for? Or are you going to reject it like Lee Gilsoo?" Jang entered the scene, demanding, "What's this commotion?" In-hae replied, "I issued a challenge. Is there a problem? I don't think I've broken any rules." To which Jang could not say anything. Then the scene cuts off to Kang In-hae and his group discussing the vulnerability of the fighting arena and how Gilsoo indirectly exposed it. Now even Jang could not do anything to them because they were not breaking any rules. This arena was a place where anyone, regardless of status, could fight, making everyone equal in the face of violence. Despite its reputation, it was full of cowards who only watched others fight. The transfer student Lee Gilsoo was the first to reject the arena, exposing its hypocrisy. This meant that now anyone could challenge the so-called losers who hid behind the rules, forcing them to fight to avoid becoming like Gilsoo. In-hae and his crew saw the arena as their new playground. While training at the rooftop, Gilsoo, feeling battered but less scared than before, tried to attack Jang, who easily dodged his punches and hit him with more force than previous punches. Jang then criticized him for making weird sounds while fighting. Jang then took Gil-soo to a dilapidated arcade with a punching machine, teaching him the basics of punching. Gil-soo was amazed by the power behind Jang's punches and tried to replicate it, but his weak punches didn't register on the machine. Jang's punches were so powerful that it sounded like a gunshot. Jang advised him to find his own form and not to show up until he did. Back at school, Caterpillar Eyebrows was checking his phone and complaining about a girl's behavior when Park Yong-ho bumped into him, causing him to drop his phone. Yong-ho claimed it was a mistake and suggested settling it in the arena. To avoid a fight, Caterpillar Eyebrows apologized. Yong-ho added that the incident wasn't school violence, just a mistake. Do-il sees and states he did that on purpose, and that they should report it to the student council, but the other guy says to leave it. While eating, Gil-soo thought about his training, feeling hungry despite repeatedly punching the machine without improvement. Yong-ho then dropped food on Gil-soo's head, pretending it was a mistake, and started beating him, saying he missed him and asked if Gil-soo felt the same. Flashbacks showed Kang and Hae's group laughing about Yong-ho's earlier push and planning to get Gil-soo into the arena to teach him a lesson. In the present, as Gil-soo grabbed Yong-ho's hand but hesitated due to his ban from the arena, Do-il intervened by throwing a plate at Yong-ho, asserting dominance and protecting Gil-soo, telling him to stop acting out and referencing the saying about not bothering even a dog when it's eating. Park Yong-ho, enraged, threatened Do-il, but Do-il dismissively claimed it wasn't school violence, but rather a slip of the hand. Park Yong-ho, eager for a fight, challenged Do-il to meet him in the fighting arena for a proper education. Later, at the water tap, Gil-soo apologized to Do-il for the trouble. Do-il laughed it off, explaining that he didn't act out because of Gil-soo but because he wanted to deal with Kang and Hae's gang, who had been abusing the fighting arena by targeting the weak and assaulting them. Do-il couldn't stand seeing the arena misused and saw this as an opportunity to confront them. Gil-soo was confused about why Do-il wanted to protect the fighting arena, given his strength. Do-il then shared a flashback about his past, revealing he used to be fat, shy, and severely bullied. One day, he was saved by the director of a nearby boxing gym who introduced him to boxing. Through boxing, Do-il transformed himself, overcoming his bullies and gaining confidence. Back in the present, Do-il explained that although Jang Chung's rules for the arena were excessive, he liked that it allowed individuals to fight on their own terms without fear of being ganged up on. He was determined to keep the arena as a place of fair combat and vowed to wreck Park Yong-ho. At the arena, Park Yong-ho thought he would easily defeat Do-il but was quickly surprised by Do-il's skill. The crowd cheered as Do-il dodged Yong-ho's attacks and landed powerful punches, showcasing his strength and technique. Spectators were amazed, noting how strong Do-il had become and predicting the end of Park Yong-ho's winning streak. Do-il taunted Park Yong-ho, criticizing him for being weak and for starting fights with others. Just as it seemed Park Yong-ho was about to lose, he saw Kang and Hae watching from above and resolved not to lose. Acknowledging that Do-il was better at boxing, Park Yong-ho changed his stance, preparing to use his powerful kicks. Do-il noticed the change and braced himself, but was taken aback by the strength of Yong-ho's kicks. Despite trying to block with his arms, Do-il could still feel the impact of Yong-ho's kicks. Gil-soo, watching from the sidelines, called out to Do-il in concern. Do-il tried to maintain his distance from Yong-ho, who taunted him, asking if he was scared. Yong-ho's kicks continued to land, causing significant damage and making it difficult for Do-il to react properly. Just as Yong-ho was about to deliver a final, devastating kick, a third-year student council member, Hyo Gun-heng, intervened, stopping the fight and declaring that continuing would be deemed a foul since Do-il was no longer in condition to fight. Yong-ho protested, saying they had just started, and it was unfair to stop now. Despite his complaints, he ultimately accepted the decision, though he enjoyed the challenge. He taunted Gil-soo, implying the fighting arena would become more interesting in the future. Outside the arena, Gil-soo helped Do-il walk, noticing his injuries. Do-il expressed his frustration not at the pain, but at the fact that he lost and inadvertently boosted the confidence of those causing chaos in the arena. Gil-soo acknowledged that Do-il was winning initially, but was thrown off by the unexpected strength of Yong-ho's kicks. Do-il thanked Gil-soo for his support and offered him water, but Gil-soo declined, saying he had somewhere to go. Meanwhile, Kang and Hae and his gang were taking items from other students, prioritizing talent over appreciation. In-hae dismissed a student's offering, stating that he valued talent more. His gang discussed their recent victory over Jin Du Isle, noting that it proved their strength and scared those who previously thought they were weaker. They decided it was time to move on to their next plan. Kang In-hae's group approached third-year student Sun Seok-woo. In-hae boldly confronted Seok-woo, criticizing the third years for being sidelined by Jang Chung and expressing disappointment in their lack of action. Seok-woo dismissed the first years, seeing them as insignificant. However, In-hae insisted that the situation had changed and that they were no longer small-timers. On a rooftop, Hyo Gun-haeng expressed concerns to Jang about the first years abusing the fighting arena rules. He suggested that intervention was necessary to maintain the arena's integrity. Jang replies, "We can't do anything regarding the cause they are not breaking any rules." Then Hyo Gun-haeng is like, "But they are playing with the rules," while their discussion was not leading anywhere. Jang received a call from Gil-soo, who reported that he had completed his first training session. Jang met Gil-soo, finding him with bruised and bloodied hands from practicing on a punching machine. Gil-soo asked for the next lesson but fainted from exhaustion. Jang reminded him that rest was also part of the training and carried him to a resting place. Back at the arena, Park Yong-ho stood alone, challenging others to fight. Second-year student Choi Seo-kwon from the student council entered, wanting to teach Yong-ho a lesson. As they prepared to fight, Sun Seok-woo and his third-year group arrived, adding tension. Seok-woo mocked the situation, noting the increased interest in the arena. Hyo Gun-haeng was surprised by Seok-woo's presence, stating he who caused that incident is here, pointing towards he did something big in the past. Seok-woo dismissed past incidents, encouraging everyone to enjoy the arena. Kang In-hae added that having new people made it more exciting. Jang led Gil-soo to a remote, abandoned building and explained the school's history. The Jungneung area once battled for the title of the strongest. Six Gates High School won with an overwhelming victory. Afterward, the other schools scattered to their own territories. Although fights between schools don't occur anymore, if members of another school invade this territory, it will be treated as a clear provocation. Jang then locks a gate behind Gil-soo, saying, "To escape, you have to get to the other side." He further states fighting is the best training Gil-soo could get, then left Gil-soo alone. The motorbike thugs from earlier appeared, mocking Gil-soo for daring to enter their territory. The leader approached, ready to attack with brass knuckles. Gil-soo focused, remembering his training. He dodged the thug's attack and countered with precise boxing moves, quickly knocking the thug to the ground. The other thugs hesitated, unsure of their next move. At the arena, Sun Seok-woo beats a second-year student council member, who begs him to spare his life. Sun Seok-woo remarks, "If Sun Seok-woo knew the fighting arena was this fun, he would have come earlier. He didn't know student council bastards were this weak." Hyo Gun-haeng interjects, telling Seok-woo to not go overboard and steps into the ring. Jun-haeng states he should fight someone on his level before he starts bragging. Sun Seok-woo states they have a lot of common and have a lot to hash out, don't we? And they were only students left to fight. Hyo Gun-haeng thinks the arena's rules were abused, and even Sun Seok-woo, who kept a low profile, showed up, so they probably left in case they got picked on. Hyo Gun-haeng then speaks, addressing Kang In-hae. "Is this what you were going for by bringing Sun Seok-woo?" In-hae continues, "Senior, if you really want to fight, why don't we schedule a fight somewhere proper, not the fighting arena? This empty fighting arena, you don't have to protect it anymore, right?" Sun Seok-woo responds to Hyo Gun-haeng, "Listen well. Gun-haeng, tell Jang Chung this, let's fight somewhere else, maybe the playground." Meanwhile, back at Jungneung School, Gil-soo is beating the motorbike thugs one by one. He notices that their punches don't hurt him as much anymore, possibly due to getting punched by Jang. After defeating the motorbike thugs, a girl calls for the seniors, thinking there's no way Gil-soo could beat all of them. Deciding to make a run for it, Gil-soo grabs a motorbike and takes off, though he's not seated well. Others mock his inability to ride a motorbike, to which he retorts, he wasn't trying to ride it, he was trying to run them over. He then uses the motorbike to distract them and runs away. While running, he thinks that if it were 1v1, he would have won and tells himself that he misses the arena. Gil-soo finds himself inside what looks like an empty building and positions himself at the top of a narrow staircase, thinking he can fight them one by one. And he has the high ground, so it's easier for him to fight. As he attacks them one by one, someone throws a bowl of noodles from behind and kicks him down the stairs. After getting punched again, Gil-soo realizes that the senior who attacked him is much stronger than the other minions. The senior, annoyed while about to have noodles, recognizes Gil-soo's 6 gates high uniform and orders the first years to beat Gil-soo in 5 minutes. The minions start attacking Gil-soo while the senior is about to leave, but suddenly Gil-soo, still under attack, charges and hits the senior, mentioning, "You don't have to wait 5 minutes if I come at you." The senior scolds the minions for not being able to hold off Gil-soo. Gil-soo then makes a run for the entrance when suddenly Hwang Hyuk-jin, the leader of Jinsang Technical, enters the scene on a motorbike with a thug who previously attacked Gil-soo tied to the bike. Hyuk-jin, looking at the scene, says he seeks the one who messed with his cutie. Then notices Gil-soo and tells him he's a cutie too. He stops his bike, indicating he likes cute things. Gil-soo watched in disbelief as Hwang Hyuk-jin dragged someone behind his motorcycle. "What's up with this psycho bastard?" Gil-soo muttered to himself. The minions quickly intervened, claiming they would handle the situation, but their leader stepped forward confidently. Gil-soo sized him up, noting, "This aura. Is this the boss of Jinsang Technical High?" Gil-soo, assessing the leader of Jinsang Technical High is shorter and less muscular than Jang Chung, believes he might be able to take him down and charges without hesitation. Inspired by Jang Chung's advice on the 1-2 combo, he starts with a left jab, surprising the leader, however. The leader quickly demonstrates his superior strength, taking Gil-soo down and taunting him that the fight isn't over yet. The leader then performs a suplex on Gil-soo, intensifying the assault. As Gil-soo struggles, one minion mocks him for challenging their leader. At the same time, another remarks it's their turn next. The leader lifts Gil-soo by the neck, enjoying his screams, but Gil-soo fights back, kicking him in the head and calling him short and cute. This enrages the leader, who snaps. One of the minions reveals his deep-seated trauma from being bullied about his height. As Gil-soo notices the leader's grip weakening, he tries to attack, but is caught in a powerful hold. Then one of the minions states it's triangle choke, and no one can escape that. The leader taunts Gil-soo, demanding to know if he's still cute. Gil-soo, struggling to stay conscious, summons all his strength to stand up with the leader on his shoulders, but the leader escapes and chokes him from behind, declaring he likes Gil-soo and will make him his. The minions observe that the leader has lost interest in them and see a chance to escape. Gil-soo, recalling a survival technique from his past where he protected his carotid artery with his pinky, fights back and delivers a miracle blow to the leader before running towards the gate. Despite hitting the leader with a rock, he keeps pursuing Gil-soo until Jang Chung arrives, warning the leader that any further attack will start a war between them. As Gil-soo crosses the gate, saving himself, leader tires to attack Jang. Then he knocks out the leader with one punch. Criticizing the lack of progress at Jinsang Technical, Jang tells Gil-soo he has passed this stage and must come to the roof tomorrow for the last step. The next day, Gil-soo, unable to receive his final training from Jang, challenges someone at school to a fight, expressing his desire to rid the world of bullies.